If an engineer builds a skyscraper with a weak foundation, the entire structure eventually collapses. Plants operate on the exact same brutal logic. A standard root develops directly from a germinating seed's radicle. It lacks green pigment and exhibits positive geotropism, meaning it aggressively pushes downward into the soil to establish an anchor. Recognizing this standard downward growth is essential, because on an exam, the toughest questions target the plants that break this exact rule. This diagram shows the anatomical breakdown of the root tip. At the very bottom is the root cap. It acts as a protective shield, allowing the tender apex to push through abrasive soil without being crushed. Just millimeters above that shield is the region of meristematic activity. The cells here are tiny, dense, and rapidly divide to constantly generate new tissue. Next is the region of elongation. These newly formed cells stretch and enlarge, physically driving the root deeper into the earth. Finally, the cells differentiate in the region of maturation. Notice the fine root hairs projecting outward. They emerge strictly in this mature zone, making it the sole area responsible for absorbing water and minerals. This sequential anatomy solves a physical problem. The root divides and pushes at the aggressive front line, while securely anchoring and absorbing water using the stationary mature tissue behind it. Here's a dicot taproot. The primary root elongates directly from the radicle, sprouting the smaller branches. Contrast that with the monocot fibrous root system on the left. Its short-lived primary root is replaced by a dense network originating specifically from the stem's base. Then we have adventitious roots. These completely bypass the underground radicle, sprouting directly out of high branches or horizontal stem nodes, like you see in a banyan tree or grass. On an exam, the visual shape of a root matters less than its anatomical origin. Knowing whether a root grew from the radicle, the stem base, or a random leaf node is how you accurately identify the system. Normally, roots handle basic anchorage, absorption, and hormone synthesis, but extreme environmental pressures force physical modifications. Look at storage modifications. A carrot is a taproot, while a sweet potato is an adventitious root. Their origins differ completely. Plants also modify for support. Banyan trees drop prop roots from branches, while sugarcane deploys stilt roots from lower nodes, bracing the plant. Two completely different root structures will adapt to solve the exact same physical problem, whether that means finding extra mechanical stability or stockpiling calories. In swampy, anaerobic environments like mangrove forests, growing downward is a death sentence. Roots will suffocate. Plants like Rhizophora reverse direction. These are pneumatophores. They exhibit negative geotropism, growing up above the waterline to pull oxygen through tiny pores called pneumatodes. Let's test your categorization. Look at a turnip and the lower nodes of a sugarcane stalk. Identify their root type and specific modification function. The turnip is a taproot modified for storage. The sugarcane has adventitious stilt roots modified for support. Memorizing terms isn't enough. Looking at a raw physical trait and reverse engineering its anatomical origin is what differentiates a top-tier biology student. Let's lock this in with a rapid-fire exam synthesis. Rhizophora pairs with pneumatophores. Sweet potato pairs with adventitious storage. And root hairs pair exclusively with the region of maturation. Every detail maps onto this master framework. This structure organizes the apex regions, the three anatomical root origins, and their specific survival modifications. Grab a screenshot of this hierarchy right now to use for your final exam revisions. Plant morphology is an intricate, highly logical system. By understanding the structural baselines, you can decipher the brilliant ways plants engineer their own survival.